So, hi everybody. We're supposed to have some kind of Turkish translation today, but it will come next week if you wait for that. So we start as usual, just by sitting here and closing our eyes and sit comfortably. And just allow what is here to be here. Whatever comes, we just allow it to be here. Feeling sensations, something in the body, thinking. Whatever is here, we just allow it to be as it is. Not interested in pushing anything away, or that it should be in some ways. Not interested in thinking, not searching for anything particular. Stopping all the search now. Stopping all the fixing. Just being here, sitting here. Allow the moment to be as it is, including thoughts arising and falling. We're simply not interested in them. We just leave life alone for a moment. Not interested in anything particular and doing absolutely nothing. And this enlightenment activation will start soon. Okay, we can take 1 or 2 minutes to come up meditation. So we will continue our little research about what is hindering you from seeing that you are already enlightened, awakened, free, whatever you call it. And one obstacle for not seeing this is that we're feeling depressed. We're feeling sad. We're feeling sorrow. And I'm not talking about some kind of things which has happened in the story that makes us depressed about something which didn't go our way, or we feel sad because a close one has passed away or something, or the partner went away, or losing the job, or sorrow because something happened. We're not talking about specific events in the story, really, because they are coming and going. They're not hindering so much the next step, the next moment, the next week. So they're not hindering the truth from seeing. But what we are talking about here is more of a permanent state, some kind of chronic depression, some kind of sadness which has been there maybe for many years, since childhood even, and sorrow. We put it all together in the same package, I know, depression, this sadness and sorrow, but they are somehow connected to each other, and they have the same source. And we're not going to look at why do they come. It can be many reasons, of course. We don't look in the story, in the history. We're just noticing that they are here now. And if they are some kind of more or less a permanent state in you of feeling depressed or feeling some kind of sadness as a mood or feeling some kind of sorrow, if it's more or less here all the time, then it can be a very big obstacle for the truth to break through, because they are grabbing us so much. We are creating, this has been created a filter of depression or sadness or sorrow in front of everything which is coming. When people try to cheer us up, somehow have a cake, fantastic cake. We cannot appreciate it. We cannot enjoy it because this filter is in front of everything. Oh, just some kind of pessimistic view on everything. Everyone is, of course, unique here, and these things about depression, sadness, and sorrow can have so many forms, and everyone is having their own form, of course. But we are just looking at them as a more or less permanent state that is hindering us from enjoying life, hindering us from appreciating what is actually coming in every moment, a new, fresh moment, which has never been here before. But we don't see that because we are so trapped in these feelings. So instead of going into psychology, that is not my subject, so to speak, instead of going into some kind of therapy about it also, and try to find some kind of reason for it, either in the past, some kind of dynamic psychology, or looking at some kind of way to change the behavior in the cognitive behavior therapy in some form, we instead look at the deeper and look at and see that Depression and sadness and sorrow has something in common. They are connected. Yes, you have heard it before. Yeah, both Håkan and Amanda is laughing now. What can it be? What can it be that it's connected to? Some pupil, so students will raise a hand. No, it's of course is connected to a belief that there is a person here, a responsible person. I mean, how can a depressed feeling be here, present, here now, if there is no one being depressed? It's quite obvious that both depressions, or all three of them, and being sad and having sorrow, they are all based on the same idea. It's a thought based on the belief that there is someone here who is depressed. Someone here who's almost always sad. And someone here who has a big sorrow of what happened. So in our little research that we have been doing for quite some time now, we have not found this one. Who is this one who is depressed? If we take that example only now. Where is she or he? Can you find this one who is depressed? Or is it just a thought? What we found when we look for this one who is, for instance, depressed, what we find is a me which is not the person in the story. You find this precious sense of being here, sense of being present, sense of me being here, so to speak, being aware, just existing, just living. Is this one depressed? Take a look. The sense of me being here, being present now, being aware. Is this one depressed? Is this one sad? Does this one have any sorrow? No. It's just a mere feeling of living, vibrating life, sense of being here. It's not a person in the story. And this is what we have found in our own individual sessions and group sessions. We don't find this person who's supposed to be depressed. This is quite strange because, of course, I'm feeling so depressed. I have this chronic depression since 30 years, something. And then we just see that this is just a belief. We're not saying that the depressed feeling is not there. It is real in that sense. Huh? The sadness is there. It's real in that sense. The sorrow is there. That's a feeling. Of course not. We're not saying that it's delusion. You don't feel it. Of course we do. But we just look and see that these feelings are coming from the belief that there is someone here who was hurt, for instance. That can bring sorrow and sadness. And someone here has disappointments in life, which can bring depression. Just examples. No? Just to see that they are all based on the same basic belief, the core belief that I am a responsible me in the story, and things does not go my way, or however it expresses itself. If we can be open for this, even if we don't see it totally clear that there is no person me here, because otherwise you would not be here. Huh? Maybe for entertainment, but otherwise, because we don't see that there is not any responsible me here. So even if we don't see that, we can still use a tool. Now one coming and gave me all these tools. Another tool. Yeah, but they have proven effective, Håkan. That's where we're continuing to use the same principle. We're going away from the thinking mind now. We're not going to think about, oh, but maybe there is no person me. No, we don't go there. This is thinking. Huh? We go into the present moment, to this moment now, and ask ourselves the question, how is this moment experienced? How is this moment felt, not thought about? How is this moment only, experienced? If there is no responsible me who can be depressed, and we can use it if you want to. You take one deep breath. How is this moment felt, experienced? If there is no responsible me who can be depressed, just let it sink in and wait. Why we are using this example today is because I know that there are some people in the group, I will not point them out, of course, who has problem with this, that there is a chronic depression. They're usually very sad and they feel a lot of sorrow or whatever. And in these cases, you know best if you are in that category. You're an expert on yourself. So you know if you are in that category, and then you can use this tool, because if it's very strong, it is more or less constantly rising, or even as a permanent state. This can be an obstacle for not seeing this shining, living existence that you are. We will, of course, include this talk about depression and the tool in the document that we are creating constantly. A document about all the tools and the lifestyle situations which can be an obstacle for you. It's all about this. In the meditation, we come to some quite beautiful places, different meditations, of course, but we come to some kind of place of quietness and stillness and silence. And maybe seeing something more than that also. It's deepening, so to speak. The more and more aspects of the truth is showing itself by itself. But then we come out from meditations. There are some obstacle for not seeing the truth. And if you're not living in the enlightened state permanently now, there are some obstacles for not seeing it because it is already there. So our task is quite simple. We just have to find out, as a unique individual as you are, just have to find out what is my main obstacles and how to remove them. So we will soon present a new document which is covering the new ones also, and then you can go through them. You can go through them, these 15 obstacles that we have been presenting and talking about, and then you can look for yourself and just see, is this something which is hooking me? Is this something which is resonating with me when I read about it? Am I having negative thoughts about the future? Am I constantly questioning the present moment, and so on and so on? And then if you find, or when you find the one or two, everybody doesn't have everybody. You don't have to worry about that. We don't have to go through all the 15s. Oh my God, it will take years. No. But it's my experience that this 15 more or less covers all cases, actually. Maybe there are some more coming. I don't know. Just to find one or maybe two of them which is on the list, and see, yeah, this is actually, I have this. This is constantly grabbing me. This problem is constantly grabbing me in daily life. We're talking about when it grabs in daily life, of course. And then just to go to the tool which is presented there. Okay, so then you use the tool and just take away the charge, the power of this belief. We don't change the belief system. It's impossible to my knowledge. We're taking away the charge, as you know by now, the power of these beliefs. And then the truth will be seen, because it's already there behind it, the curtain of these beliefs. Now I open up for questions and comments, protests. I know depression is a huge subject. I know. I mean, there are many, many forms of depression and many forms of sadness and sorrow. We may make it very, very simple here. But just because it is actually simple when we look at it in this way, we don't have to go into all the theories and all the different schools that has been thinking about this subject. It's quite often, quite much in Western society, actually. Anyone who wants to say something?
Yeah, I will.
It's
What?
Kathy, I suppose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is definitely something that I struggle with. And
Okay.
when I'm in this, depressed, heavy state, that tool does nothing. Like it just doesn't do anything. So I don't know if my belief is too entrenched or it's been, here so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating to hear, oh, I mean, you say it's another tool, but the tools are all kind of the same. It's like, how is this moment experienced if there's no person or there's
Mm-hmm.
no,
Mm-hmm.
and when I'm heavy in it, it just has no impact at all.
Mm. That we can combine it. We can combine it with another method, if you can call it that, or another way to handle it. And I don't know if we have done it in the individual session, Kathy, but it is to actually when the feeling of, I don't know if you're talking about sadness or sorrow or depression or all three. Which one are you talking about?
It's just heavy awfulness that,
Heavy,
life isn't
heavy
worth
awfulness.
living. I
Yeah,
don't want to be here. It's
yeah,
just not good.
yeah, yeah,
Thoughts are terrible.
yeah. And of course, there are levels of this. There are levels of this. And one way to cope with it, if it's really, really strong, as it seems to be in your case, as you describe it now, is that then it's true. It doesn't help so much to have this tool about how would it be felt and so on. Uh, then it is easier to go another way. That is actually to feel the feeling which is there, and not to just allow it to be there, because that we can allow it forever, but just to actually feel the feeling which is there. Do you have any of these feelings now?
Well, as I've told you before, the my my emotions seem sort of blunted. Like I have anhedonia at times, so I'm just sort of blank and awful. And
Mm,
it's not really even an identifiable feeling, just that it's not good and I don't want to be here.
mm,
Um, so yeah, I'm in that now for sure.
yeah. And what happens? What happens if you feel it and not only allow it? What happens then? I suppose you have tried that also, because you have tried everything, Cassie. So I suppose you have tried that once, to really feel it, not to allow it just to be there or having some kind of distance by noticing it, but actually feel it. What happens then? For instance, now, if you feel that awful state which is present now, just feel it totally. Let it have its space, so to speak, give it freedom to express itself in the way it wants. You can just continue, Cassie, to feel what is here, this whatever we call it. And when it changes to something else, because it's usually changing, and that is also an awful feeling, then you feel that. And the secret is to give it freedom, because it wants to express itself only, actually. So you can just continue, maybe, Cassie, to just feel it there.
Mm.
By your own. I will come back to you, okay? I will come back to you. And then we can ask if there's somebody else who has anything that they want to share.
I feel to share.
Yeah, who is it?
Mira.
Yeah, hey, man. Hi.
Happy to be here today. Thank you.
Yeah.
From
the car.
From the car. Yeah. This big fat from the morning still.
Okay.
I have a similar, but in my own way, I believe, situation how Katya shared. Somehow, when I have this like my energy blocked, locked, and state of like depression, no tasty, I don't feel easy to go to the mind, and it's like very heavy tools. They not work for me because I cannot like dive in that. I also believe that I cannot dive when I am alone because, for example, yesterday with friend we practice inquiries, question, and everything was flowing and moving, and many understanding was coming, and even deep. But I found during all these days and processes that this state, when tools is not working and like no energy, I cannot focus, I cannot do some things what is important, I'm like stuck. Then it can take few days till moment when I really enter in a process where I'm in a despair, I'm crying, my body starts releasing tensions because it start affect my spine, muscles, ear. Is like, and there's so much that I'm just crying in front of the sky and asking at some point, just I really need help because I don't know what to do. And after that, I come into this state of peace, that everything like refresh and clean and calmness and energy is flowing and creation is happening, and next day I am okay. But again, daily life situation in which I am, my morning start from crazy sounds, and I feel this is like it's not endless circle, and like my sometimes I can be in silence inside when around is craziness is happening, a lot of talks, like, you know, like, and I don't have space where to be, just be, not to participate in family talks, family things, dishwasher and all this kind of things. And I'm pissed off and I really don't know what to do. I mean, I cannot clarify my question. But one of things I can say definitely, like, for me, it take few days till I can reach a point when I can feel. It's like for my system is so much that I even cannot feel, and I ask myself what I feel, and I cannot feel. Then I found what I can feel. It just lie down and surrender to this depression, and to be depressed, don't do anything, just be like vegetable, like, or sitting and looking at window like vegetable, you know. Then maybe what tool can help me to refroze myself from this vegetable, to start feel. Yeah, because really question of to feel.
So you mean that you cannot even feel?
Yeah, and naturally, like, it happened by itself, but it take days, you know, like it take days. Then of course many story can be on that also, but I am not entering in that story. It just really big wish of my heart, not to be like a squirrel in this circle, you know. Is like really like life is forcing me to be productive, you know, and many crazy things is happening. My family in Ukraine, I'm here, I pushed by this commune, like I have this crazy situation. My cat yesterday lose conscious, and I had feeling that he will not back, he just fall down, and I was just fully present like with him. And I pissed off, like I come into feeling like many time I even lie down in my bed and I feel like and just my spirit go like it's like too much, I cannot anymore. Now I cry.
Yeah, you're totally okay to cry here, of course.
Then I don't know what to do, how to help my body, because I also like how I feel my body. It's horrible. It's really horrible. Like, and it become worse and worse. It's lock me, and I really afraid, like really to become sick, because sometimes I feel this sickness. It feels like I see sickness in all Denmark, like all is sick, you know, and it's entering and coming. It's like too much. I am talking now and I feel all this faster in my body. It's like, and crazy situation because I don't know what to do. Do I need to do something with this whole situation of my daily life? Or what to do really? Like, and this tension and pressure is, yeah, is too much.
It's totally overwhelming, you know? It's totally overwhelming. Yeah, this is not easy.
Is
and of course,
madness. And also I started feel like it's so much, and also so much in physical body, and it's like I'm ready to become crazy. It's like my mind is horrible. Then how I can help myself like a human being? I am not talking because beautiful moments of presence and is happening, and without that I probably already die if they not happen, but it's just pause. And really moments when I can question, moment when it's not so intense like this, then it's really like a process of growing up is happening. But I don't know, I really like I feel I losing time. I feel really that like I losing time, I lose an opportunity of my human being life here to enlighten myself, because it is something what fully not healthy, and it's not give me a contact to my spirit, to my heart. Then situation like this.
It's not easy. And it's not so easy to listen to some kind of non-dual ideas in that situation, no? Because the feelings are so grabbing. We are feeling really bad, and then there's someone coming and talking about some kind of tool. I understand that it can be quite a contrast. No? What we're talking about here is it's not actually that kind of overwhelming situations that you describe, Mira, and also Kathy. But what to do in these situations? Well, you know, there are plenty of methods that people are saying, but I don't know if I would go into them because there are so many physical exercises, go on the beach or whatever, yoga or jogging, or, I mean, there are many, but this, the principle is that something wants to show itself, or something is showing itself. Something wants to really break through in the more or less awful state. And what can be said from here is that to run away from it doesn't help. It will come back in some other form maybe, or the same form a little bit later. And try to fix it doesn't help either. And to ignore it really doesn't help. There's not any quick fix of these kind of situations. And I'm convinced that everyone who has this kind of overwhelming state, sometimes they have their own way of trying to cope with it. But the big principle is that it has to be felt. They are very unpleasant states, but if we are running away from it, it will not help. It has to be felt as it is. Because this is a reality now. This awful state is reality. Then you can say, yeah, but this here chronically is permanently here. Shall I go around feeling it all the time? Well, maybe it is easier to be guided then in this feeling situation, because it's not so easy to feel it by ourselves. Because when we have so much defenses, we really don't want to feel it. Actually, we want to have a nice experience. We want to enjoy life. We don't want to have these awful things. And now I should do something on my own. It's not so easy to do that. That is why we have these individual sessions where we can be guided instead, and to just see how we're going through layer by layer in this some kind of process. So I think we should just continue, Mira and Cassie. Should just see each other, or maybe see each other more often actually than we are doing now. So how is it with you? Yeah, what do you say, Mira? Do you want to say something?
I said thank you so much for possibility.
Yeah,
It feels
so
like I will understand.
I will contact you now after this session, after this group session. I will contact you to change the booking so that you can come earlier, okay? If that is something for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's do that. It's much easier to cope with these situations if you're guided. That's my experience. And what about Cassie? What is happening over there?
Not much is happening. I mean, I can relate to what Mira is saying. I'm even less functional, I think, from the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Um,
I offer it.
it's just really heavy when I'm in it. One day I'm sort of a little better, and then the next day I'm crying and suicidal for, no real reason. And I'm just, and then I start thinking, well, if there's no body, then what does it matter if I kill the body? Like maybe that'll get me somewhere. Like I just go into all kinds of crazy
And
ideas.
I offer the same to you as I do to Mira, that we can try to have an individual session with guidance before we have this booking that we did. If you
Okay.
want to. Yeah, I will contact you later, then you don't have to say anything now to decide, say
Okay.
yes or no. I will contact you both, okay, after this group session. And maybe we can see each other sooner. Because to repeat it one more time, it's much easier actually to be guided from outside. It's not so easy to guide ourselves in this because there's so much defense. So I don't want to do this actually. I just want to do something else. Is that okay for you for now? Okay. Yeah. Someone else about this? It's a big subject, I know. I would like to see both Amira and Cassie tomorrow. I will contact you today and have it tomorrow, okay? So we don't have too much time before. Someone else today? Something?
Hi, Chris. I had a question about the tool of the week shared this week about handling feelings of unsafety.
Handling thoughts? Wait, which one? Which tool?
Tool that was shared this Monday about handling feelings of unsafety.
Safety. Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So there is this place of I-amness that is untouched. That just the feeling of feeling and knowing that I exist.
Mm-hmm.
But I cannot say I feel totally safe there because because there is a belief that this sense of I amness is associated with this body. For example, when I'm sitting silently with eyes closed and have access to this space, there can be a fear that suddenly someone can chop my head off and this sense of I amness will be gone.
So then there's a thought coming, right?
Yes.
A thought expressing itself as a fearful thought, you could call it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that is that thought in the I am. Is I am is the feeling of existing, living, being here. Does it create any thoughts? Or is it just a feeling of existing, living, I am here, present, right? So it's not coming from this me place, so to speak. It's coming from the thinking mind, no?
Yes.
Yeah. So the I am is outside the story. Huh? That it doesn't have any connection to the story. It's, so to speak, observing. Not very good word, but just to, in this context we can say it. Huh? So to speak, observing what is going on there. So what is going on there is a thought about, which includes fears. Someone can chop off my head if I'm sitting here. That is thought which is coming in the story. So that thought is expressing some kind of fear of unsafety. Right? Yeah. So unsafety, can you see it now that the unsafety is not connected to this I am place? Yeah, can you see that now? That place is actually safe. The thought which is coming is not coming in that place. Can you see this? It's coming within the story. It's coming within the story, and it's expressing a fear that you have, some kind of fear of unsafety in the story. Understand what you mean? We don't go away from unsafety really, because the story in itself is unsafe. I mean, this is how it is. Huh? The story in itself is unsafe. And as long as we believe that it is real, that something is really happening, and as long as we believe that there's a me here in the story, which can be hurt in some way, physical or emotionally, that is the struggling and the suffering. So we are coming back to the same point, that there is a fear. Is it so? It's a fear of the world is unsafe, but the world is unsafe. But is it real? I mean, to say that there is no, the world is not, the world is actually safe, that is totally ridiculous. Huh? Of course it's unsafe. Things are happening all the time. You can sit in your apartment, you can be some kind of airplane coming in. All the time, every second is some kind of new things happening. The world is very unsafe. There's no safety here. But is it real? That is the question. Is it something really happening to you? Or are you untouched by what happens because you are in another place? So even if something would happen to Kushik, even the head was shot, cut off, that will be an experience. But that's, if you can see, if we can be open for at least, that this is just a theater play, which is not real. It's not happening. It's just here in the head. It's a mental story. And you are not hurt. You are not touched by it. It's just what happens, so to speak, in the movie. Can you follow me in this?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do see that it's a thought, but But yes, it can get overpowering at times, and I do get your point that unless it's seen that there is no me, there is probably no way for me to know. I just have to
Yeah, that is
go by
why
what you say. Yeah.
that is why this is a shortcut. It's a shortcut to see if there is no responsible me. The me I think I am, if that is found not to be in the story, but actually outside the story, untouched by the story, then that is the end of the story. In the sense that it doesn't matter what happens in the story then, because it doesn't touch your real you. The me in the story is just a role playing, like in a movie. It's just a mental thing. There's nothing outside there. It's just going on inside you. The whole life is mental. But in that life story, in that movie, it's quite dangerous. We have to be, honest here. It's very, very dramatic sometimes. Huh? People are dying every time, all the time. There's a war in Europe, So to say that is not, it's just have to see that it is not real. And even if we are not open for that idea that this is a movie here and I'm not in the movie, I'm actually sitting in a cinema sofa looking at the movie, even if we're not open for this because it's quite drastic, it's extremely radical. Even if we see it when we look, it's still very radical. That is why we can use this tool. But if there is no, if I am not in the story, because it cannot be two I. We feel that we are one I am, I live, I exist. And then we have the I am doing. It's the same I, using the same word for it. But to see that the I which is doing and responsible and thinking, deciding, controlling that this I actually not, it's not true that it is doing something. I'm not doing anything at all. I'm just existing, living, actually enjoying. Is that okay for you as an answer, Koshi? Yeah. So we are a little bit mixing these two. When we are mixing these two me, then it can be a little bit confusing. Someone else? Amanda, I haven't heard your voice for some time.
Hi, Chris.
Oh, someone else coming here. Who is it? Dima.
Yeah.
Okay, that was some time ago. Hi.
Yeah.
How is it?
More or less.
Yeah, more or less. I know you're in Kiev, yeah.
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 Yeah, I'm in Kiev. It's nice weather here. Nice autumn. Chris, I want to ask you, if I have fear about future, what tool can I use to remove this obstacle?
Yeah, we have them in the document actually. The easiest way, I'm talking about fear is means that there is a what you can call a negative thought about the future, right?
Negative thoughts about future. What will be with me, or what will be
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
not specifying.
Yeah. So, and the question is, do you know what's going to happen?
Yeah. I will die and go to hell.
Yeah, okay. That is in the long run, so to speak.
Okay.
Are you sure about this even?
Well, I think so.
Yeah, you think so.
Sounds
That
crazy.
is
It just sounds crazy, yeah, but yeah.
that is the point. You think so. You said so yourself. I'm just quoting you. You think so. So
Yeah.
that is a thought about the future, right? And the thought about the future doesn't sound so positive. I will die and go to hell. Huh? You didn't say I will go die and go to heaven. You said go to hell. So it's quite negative thought. Huh? And when you ask this guy up there in the office, then the one who was producing that thought, and ask him, do you know that I will go to hell? Maybe I will go to heaven. I mean, they ask the guy, do you know anything about the future? What if he is honest? What does he say? Or he doesn't try to fool you again? Or does he know anything about the future?
Well, he reads something. He read something.
He sees something. He give advice. No, he doesn't see anything. He give advices. Advices. He guessing what probably may happen based on past experiences, but does he really know what's going to happen? 100% sure.
No.
No one knows that in that way. Why do you listen to it then? I mean, if there's someone who doesn't know, I mean, if you want to know something about quantum mechanics and you ask your son, 2-year-old, and he's saying something, why should you listen to him? Or 3 years old? Why should you listen to him when he talks about, okay, this is how it is about quantum mechanics? Why should you listen to someone who doesn't know? And if we ask him, he also admits that. No, I don't know anything about the future. I'm just guessing. I'm just trying to take care of you. The intention is good here. Don't yell at me. I'm just taking care of you and to help you to navigate in this world. But I don't know. Of course, I don't know. How can I know? So we believe it when it comes inside us. Why do we believe it? We don't believe when it comes in the neighbor's head. Oh, you're so pessimistic. No, everything's going to be fine. We are protesting against what is coming in the other one's head, but we're not protesting against when it comes in our own head. No, it has to be true. So the thought is coming. I will die and go to hell. And this another part of the thought is coming. Another thought is coming actually, and believe this is true. Yeah, this is true. I will go to hell. So the thought in itself is not harmful. It's not harmful. It's just a thought. We can't stop thought from coming. We can't stop negative thoughts from coming. But we have, so to speak, a choice to believe if they are true or not. And because they are coming in our pretty heads, we believe they are true. Why should it be true because it comes in our head? There's no logic in this. So the tool is, of course, how is this moment experience if I don't believe any negative thoughts about the future? And you can do it now, Dima, with me, okay? In this moment, you can translate it to Lithuanian, Russian, or whatever. Oh, I mean to Ukrainian. How is this moment experience if I don't believe any negative thoughts about the future? That it's just sink in and wait. And just listen to the happy kids running around.
My daughter came to the toilet on her head. So luckily.
Hi there, you are on television, dear. Yeah, maybe you cannot do it in the moment because of what is happening around you, but you can do it afterwards when you have a little bit more calm, more cold, alone place that you can do it. Number 2 came in.
Number 2 came real got back. Good.
So Dima, do you understand the tool? Yeah.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah.
How do I feel this moment if I do not believe in any negative thoughts?
And let it sink in and wait. The truth will do the rest. We're not doing anything. We're not going to thinking. We just wait. And if you want to have a reminder how it really is in the statement, you can contact me later today and I will give you it on WhatsApp. I think we have to leave you at that moment and go to, you can, okay. Thank you very much. So someone else wants to say something? Yes, Amanda, you can just.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Again, I've asked it before, but
You can ask it again.
feeling comes in the body like contraction, fear. It comes in the body because a thought comes first. So that's right. Or maybe not a thought if it's a instinct thing. Like sometimes the body does something, but it's not being thought about.
Mm-hmm.
So
It can also be that the thought is triggering one feeling, and that feeling is triggering another thought.
yeah,
It's not only in one direction. It can be in both directions, of course.
yeah. So the same. So all that that's just in the story to be felt.
No, I don't say that it should be felt.
Yeah, you did.
No.
You said
This has to be repeated then. Very good question then, because
well, you can't not feel it. It's happening.
no, when a thought is when a feeling is coming, if it's not totally overwhelming, we can't do anything. It's just exploding. Then we have this method of feeling it, not allowing it, not analyzing it, feeling it until its end. But that is an exceptional case. Usually it's not so overwhelming, right? It's not an explosion. It's not taking over everything and we cannot do anything, just feeling these feelings coming. Then we feel it to its end. And even something else is coming. If it's negative, we feel that and so on, and until the love and peace is coming, actually, which is underlying it. That is mostly exceptional. All other kinds of emotions which are coming, the feeling of uncomfortableness, the feeling that I'm not good enough, all these kind of feelings, then we have to question why they are rising in the first place. And they are rising because there's a belief at the bottom which is triggering these feelings. If you go back to the first example about overwhelming feeling, of course, there is a belief underlying them also. But when they are so overwhelming, so strong, you can't just go to these tools, as we talked about before, because they are so strong. So we have to let them come out first. If they are really, really strong, I emphasize that again. It's an exception because feeling them doesn't solve the problem. Sooner or later, we have to ask ourselves, why did this enormous, strong feeling arose within me for 1 hour ago? We have to continue the journey, to continue discovering, ask ourselves, why is it rising? Sometimes we don't have any answer because maybe the feeling is so old and maybe it was coming before we even have language. So old. But usually it is not the case. Usually it is some kind of belief in which is on the basis of these strong emotions arising also.
So we identify the belief.
So we have to identify the belief, but we can't do that if it's totally overwhelming. We are so much occupied with it. That's why we feel it first, and then we ask the question, why did it come?
If we can identify like the belief, oh, I have a belief I did something wrong, and then we use the tool.
And we use the tool. And if you can't find the belief, because sometimes it's not so easy to analyze yourself, We can't find why is this feeling coming. I'm not talking about one feeling which is coming once a year. I'm talking about a regular pattern, of course. And if the strong feelings are rising, then we can do it together. We can find what could it be? What kind of belief could it be? Because we don't see the belief. What we see is the symptoms, the triggered manifestations of the belief, which is emotion reactions and tension in the body and destructive beliefs about ourselves and others. This is what we see. We see the symptoms coming from that one. We usually don't see the belief. Otherwise, it would be easier.
And the belief, we're saying a belief is a made up belief that we believed, huh?
Yeah, something we have been trained to believe since far away in time. Far away. And but that is why we have the individual session, because everyone is unique.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And belief is fiction. These beliefs are because they are based on a personal me.
Yes. They're always based on the personal me. You could say, as in summary, that every time, and this is also for Kathy, every time, and for Mira, every time you don't feel good, every time you don't feel good, there's always a belief in a person behind it all. Always. Sooner or later in the analysis, we come into that place. Maybe we don't see it from the very beginning, but when we go more deep, we will see that is actually the case.
A responsible person.
Yeah. The responsible person is behind it all. We are supposed to be happy and just enjoying and loving, actually. That is how life really is. And every time we don't do that, it's because of this personal responsible me, which is believed to be here and has to be believed to be true since we were very small children.
Okay, thank you.
I know it sounds a little bit simplified to say it in this way, but this is my experience. That sooner or later we are coming to that point, that there is a belief in a responsible me, who was hurt and can be hurt again, who was mistreated and can be mistreated again, who was treated disrespectfully and can be treated disrespectfully again. Sooner or later we come to that. And on the way to see that and to try to cope with it, we're going through all this mess. We just have to see why is it arising in the first place. Someone else? I'm not a psychologist. I'm a therapist, but not a psychologist. So I've been in deep water today, going on deep water a little bit, because I don't have any own experience of neither sorrow, sadness, or depression. But we have some psychologists here in the group, I know. Okay, you're nodding your head, Katja. So anyone else who wants to have a comment about this or some kind of question before we close today? It's very, very important topic. And it's usually this kind of strong emotions, which is so overwhelming. It's really like a curtain, a thick, dark curtain in front of this beautiful thing which is there. So it's very important to look at it. but doing it with psychotherapy is going some way. Yeah, it's going some way. But sooner or later, we have to question the very basis of psychotherapy also. That is the idea of responsible me that needs to be fixed somehow. And to go beyond and see that, who is this one then? And this is what we do here.
I feel to say,
Yes, Mira?
I want to notice that it was happened now. I was sitting and I just felt to close my eyes, and feeling was, it is like an ocean of calmness, peacefulness, and silence inside, which from actually where meditation is started, it happened. Then what I wanted to notice to say is that it is how it is all day today. I'm in this locked state, and suddenly till I was sitting here with you and just listening and be tuned in, it changed. But I really want to find a way by myself not to lose time and just really to find a key what can help me.
One way,
Stuff.
yeah, the course it shouldn't be dependent on me. I don't want anybody to be dependent on me. That's why I'm giving out the tools, no? And the meditation also, you can do it on your own and so on. But one way to do it is to intensively for a short period, you work with all these things. So when are you coming to Goa, Mira? Yeah, this is one way, to come to retreat for 10 days. And we are working with it intensively.
I hope, I had hope in case if you could have something in Sweden before go to Goa.
I'm going 9th of October already.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is one course in December in Törnmalai probably also. An idea which came from Yash today. Thank you, Yash. But there's also other ideas too. I don't know if it could be something I can ask you now to have an online course, so we don't have to go somewhere. But having online course in the same structure we had in Turkey, which was a very big success actually. Then people don't have to go somewhere. It costs also a lot of money. The only disadvantage could be that we have to be a little bit more disciplined when we are home. It's much easier to just follow a structure. Our Dima is also, now we have already 2 people coming online.
First participant.
Okay, let's do it then. Kathy, do you want to join? Yeah, okay, we have 3 already. Yeah, it could be good actually, because then we will work intensively for 10 days, but it has to, of course, to be organized in such a way that you don't have to do something else. And you also have organized the food issue in such a way that you don't have to spend so much time on this. But we can come back about these details. But I feel now, I hear you now, that there is an interest for this. So let's see it in this way then. I don't think it can be possible to do it before I go to India, but let's do it as when I come to India as soon as possible. Let's say in October then, next month, to have. How do you feel about it? Could be something for you to have it in October. Yeah, to finish it off. It's much easier to be totally focused on this, just to get rid of all this shit that is hindering you from seeing the United States. Yeah, and Lindsay also said yes to this. Good. Yeah, so we have already a course. So I will now start to plan the course. It's not so much to plan, actually, it just happens in a beautiful way. So let's do that then. Do you want to say something more, Mira?
It's a joke. Maybe till October I will build a cave. Then I will be happy to participate in the retreat. But
I can say the structure is like this: 5 days cave. Okay, you can build the cave 5 days. Then it's going to be silence 5 days, total silence 5 days. Yeah, bye, Amanda. And the other 5 days is a question of beliefs, and we're going deep into that. So we are making it in 2 parts. We did it in Turkey in this way. It's functioned beautifully, actually. I didn't have a structure when I came. It just worked out in that beautiful way. So I suppose we can use the same online also. Good.
I believe yes.
Yeah, very good. We will announce it and see how many people are interested in it. There should be some kind of limit though, because I cannot have more than 8 people, because I want to meet everybody every day in an individual session, because everyone will have their own unique special program. Everyone is unique here. They have to have an own program. This is what we did in Turkey also. So I need to have only 8 people, not more actually. So registrate, so to speak. Just tell us who is interested in it, and we will have a limit of 8 people. Then we'll just do it. Actually, yeah. And we have 3 already, so it's only 5 places left. Håkan, come on. Okay, thank you very much for today. And see you tomorrow then. And then tomorrow we have as you know, the guided meditation and the enlightenment activation only. Okay. Thank you very much for today. Very good. Thank you. And I'll come back to Kathy and Mira afterwards now. Thank you.